What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of The B.R.E.A.K.S Radio. We got Baylor The Great in the building. What's going on, Baylor?
Don't speak on the family, Crody.
We got the rare wine connoisseur himself, Marquis, doing the blackest thing possible and being at the barbershop while we're recording the podcast. Shout out to Marquis, bro.
I mean, if I had a glass of Hennessy, it'd be even better, but
If you had a glass of Hennessy at 10 a.m., that would be wild, Crody. That would be wild. But anyway, we are here. It's been a wild couple of weeks of hip hop. I mean, and it doesn't seem to die down. Hell, we got Shaq releasing diss tracks, which is crazy enough. Keith, you're gonna have to mute it when he gets close to your ear on that line in there, bro. But let's get into it, man. We're gonna hop right into it. So the Drake Kendrick Lamar beef. I think the last time when we recorded was after Meet the Grams had dropped. I believe was it 616? I don't even remember if Meet the Grams had came out at that time because I don't think we talked about Family Matters at all. So no, it probably did not.
It was Saturday morning.
It was Saturday morning.
We did the heart, didn't we? Because
that's a full episode. We did the live streams and shit dropped, but I'm talking about like the full episode.
Okay.
But with that said, I guess this is died down in a sense of tracks being released, but we still got information coming out. But let's go ahead and recap like our feelings on it now. Now that the Heart 6 dropped, Not Like Us is now a complete movement in the culture. We'll go to the Cali representative first. Baylor, how you feeling about this Kendrick Lamar Drake beef, brother?
Well, I think like if anybody should be thanking K-Dot right now, is definitely Darvin Ham. Okay, because with our early exit in the playoffs, with Not Like Us dropping, it felt like we won a goddamn championship. No, I mean we've had a parade. If anything that you could think of off that album has happened. Somebody got married off of it. You know what I mean? Somebody played it at the baby shower. They playing the song everywhere. But I ain't gonna even lie to you. We kind of passed it now. Like we took the W, and then I think we're waiting on the next phase of this battle, which is probably some visuals, or we could just wait on K-Dot album.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That's it. I mean, it's nothing at this point. Like I've seen people online saying, "Dog, I'm just trying not to play the song again." You know what I mean? So that's where we at. I'm not even celebrating. Drake's loss. We just more so of let's get to the next phase now. Let's get to some newer music and stuff like that. Like I had to go listen to some R&B because it was just too much. We good now. We moved on from it.
I mean, I guess I get what you're saying, but like, Not Like Us is not dying down anytime soon. So like, I don't know if like we could say that the culture is past. I get what you're saying. Like as far as like we've broken it down, we listened to the lyrics, we've done that. Like unless somebody's going to release something new in that sense, like it kind of is what it is at this point. But I do think that there's something to be said. I think people are still shocked at the fact that Drake got beat at his own game. He got beat before in a battle with Pusha T, right? I think we all know that. But it wasn't like the world was paying attention to that. It was some Drake fans and the hardcore hip hop heads. Yeah. This is the first loss that Drake has had on this magnitude ever. So like you got people in church turning Not Like Us into damn gospel songs. Keith, how you feeling, brother?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say I love every bit about this. I think that I want to know what's gonna happen next, right? Like clearly, like you said, Drake has been assassinated, and now somebody got shot out of his house. We see like another distraction. There was supposed to be another diss track. I don't know. I just want to know what's going to happen next. Like, what does Drake do to recover from this? Because let's be real, it's hard to recover from a loss at this magnitude. Yeah, Pusha T, somebody had to step in to stop that one, but this one was Kendrick. And again, we get more Kendrick music, and I appreciate what Baylor's saying. We're going to get more Kendrick music.
Yeah.
And he's also expanded his fan base because now people know more about him to the point where they have his own dish at a restaurant in Toronto. His streams are large in Toronto. You know what I mean? Like this is a global scale for him. So I appreciate what this battle did for Kendrick and exposing him to a newer audience, to more a deeper audience. But I love every bit about this. This is a cultural movement to the cultural culture.
It absolutely is. Now, Bailey, you brought up the album. When you look at Kendrick's next album, there was rumored that he was going to be releasing at the end of May, which is a quick turnaround for Kendrick albums, considering he Mr. Around the Big Steppers 2 years ago at this point. Yeah, has it even been a full 2 years?
Didn't that come out during closer to the summer though?
I don't remember. I'm not even gonna lie to
I
you. I
think
don't
this will be a
remember
full
the
two,
when
full 2 years. I think
it's been two.
this is a full 2 years. Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, getting a new Kendrick album within 2 years of the last one is something that we haven't really gotten a whole hell of a lot of. But then on top of it, the rate he's been releasing this music. So when you look at it now, Kendrick has a perfect opportunity to really kind of, like you said, grow his fan base, but also in a way, kind of remind people how to still have lyricism while getting songs that maybe the more casual ones can listen to. Miss Morale and the Big Steppers was like its own little piece of art. Like it's different. But what do you think the next Kendrick album? What do you want the next Kendrick album to sound or feel like, Baylor?
I don't think I wanted to. I think that's where a lot of this stem from is that the Drake fans versus the K Dot fans was saying what the sound should sound like. Well, the
Mm-hmm.
reason why we're not listening to K Dot is because we don't feel like breaking down music that we really don't feel like listening to, right? And they have already said, K Dot has already said, we know what y'all want to listen to. It's pacifying music, all
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's like at this point, whatever he puts out, I'm gonna go and listen to. I expect what I get from a K Dot. So the only thing that kind of surprised me, it wasn't the Not Like Us record, is how the Not Like Us record dropped that I'm surprised about. So the sound in itself doesn't surprise me because you got tracks like We Gonna Be All Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we know he can make those type of tracks. It's just do we feel like he can make a whole album full of that? And I don't
I
maybe he
don't think he
don't
would want to make an album full of just that. Yeah.
exactly because what we've seen in the beef is he all the track that he dropped were all different,
Yeah.
all different tones, all different. The pace of it, bro. I'm just if I had to say this is what I want, I would like an album just like that. If he put out anywhere between, uh, I would say anywhere between 10 or 13 tracks, just give me two or three bops, give me two or three tracks where I have to go on the internet, maybe even to the dark web, and figure out what the hell is going on. You know what I'm saying? But overall, I didn't force Nas to come out with a certain project. All I said was once he announced that he was going to do this tour or this journey with Hit Boy, I know what Hit Boy sound his sound is. So I'm like, I want to see how this meshes together. Then that's when I expected certain songs from Nas. But that the content in itself, I didn't know what he was gonna give us. It went anywhere from sounding like they sampled to 70s to Death Row East to
Mm-hmm.
brunch on Sundays. And so it was everything was just different. I just want to hear good music overall. It's not a certain type of tracks though.
And I think that's what makes Kendrick different is Kendrick makes music for whatever place not only is he at as a man at that point in time, but also where his mind is at that time. Marquis, what about you? What do you think? What do you want to see from the next Kendrick album?
I would say this. What I want to see is one thing. I want to see a little bit more of guest features, more expanding what hip hop should be. I think the direction that this album is going to be in is this is Kendrick's MO. So Good Kid, Mad City was his coming out, right? Like I am. Here's where I'm from. Here's what I'm about. Here's where I'm going to go. Pimp Butterfly came out where we needed it. You know, it was a statement for Black people, it was a statement for the culture, especially going through with the riots and stuff like that. And when Damn came out, it was more of let's examine ourselves, let's look at ourselves on a personal level, that psychological safety that's needed that we never got. So it's more of a therapy session. And the last album was more of a deeper dive into him to get like peeling back the layers, understanding the psychology of him. I think the next album is going to go in a direction where we are as a country. We're so divided, you know, as far as Trump is concerned, as far as Biden is concerned. That's where I think it's going to go. It's going to be political, but it's still going to be grounded, where he can expand the message.
I agree with that. And that's just what you can expect for Kendrick. Like he said it. He's what the culture's feeling. That's what the music he drops. So I think it's going to be a fun time for Kendrick. A fun time for music. This is one of the more fun times in hip hop overall. You got the Game dissing Rick Ross. Shaq dropped a diss track to Shannon Sharp of all people, which is crazy. Like Sukiana had dropped the JT diss track. Everybody's like now diss tracks are back in. Now everybody want to make diss tracks. Where y'all been the last 5 years, man?
Yeah,
Well,
and all
really
all
quick
of us
question.
all
We're
of a
big.
sudden y'all really don't like people.
Yeah.
It's funny that Big Sean dropped right before all this happened, dissing Kendrick, and no one paid attention to that shit.
Nobody even remember. I forgot that even happened to you. Just mention it, and it did happen. Like, so it's yeah. Hey man, Big Sean gets his releases stepped on all the time, man. It's actually a joke at this point in time.
Big Sean like,
Control.
hey, K-Dot, I'm talking to you, bro. Hey.
But moving on from that, man. Well, hey, I guess real quick, just on that note, how you guys feel about the game diss to Ross?
I don't care, bro.
It's just like Kanye getting involved in me. Sit your ass at home, bro. Like, sit this one out, man.
You know what's funny? I think it's just like him dissing Eminem. They don't even respond. There's no need to respond. This is how irrelevant you are.
And that was creative.
Yeah.
That was creative. It just, if you would have came out with that about 15 years ago, it probably would have been something. But nah, bro, we take naps, bro. Like, we're not tripping off of that no more.
I didn't even bother listening to the track, to be honest with you. I just saw him and his Fruit Loops in a Louis Vuitton bowl, Rick Ross.
Yeah, I heard probably with the Shaq disc and the game disc combined, literally, no lie, I heard about 10 seconds of it.
The Shaq disc was just like, hey, the beat was dope, but I'm like, of all things, like, why did Shaq decide to get in the booth for Shannon Sharp? Like, I don't like what.
It's corny. It just seems like
yeah.
It seems like everybody is in one room to watch K-Dot and Drake fight, and then say, "Oh my God, this fight is going so great. Let me find somebody to hit."
That's a good analogy. I like that. It's like a bar fight when somebody just starts throwing punches and throw punches.
Yeah.
I will say I love Chris Brown though.
Hey, the Chris Brown one.
That Chris Brown was fire.
I like one and done. Like, cause that response from Quavo, what the fuck was that, bro?
But that's like watching a game 7 of 2 JV games. like they hooping, they going crazy, but we waiting for the varsity team to come on.
Facts. Well, in all of this, DJ Vlad also had an interaction with the professor from Princeton, in which DJ Vlad, his comment was just simple: that the Kendrick song needed to be mixed better. And the professor from Princeton, a young black woman, basically told him to stay out of black people's business. Vlad then went on to do the most caring thing possible and say that he was going to contact Princeton. Now, he's since followed up and said he never was going to. That's what people do.
But why would you say it, though?
People just be trying to win the Twitter argument and say dumb shit, bro. That's what it is. But now this has sparked the conversation on, was the professor right, wrong? Was Vlad right or wrong? Because technically nothing that Vlad said was necessarily just about black culture. I mean, he is somebody who was a producer and a DJ at one point. But how you guys feeling about it?
It wasn't about basically what he said about mixing the record. It's about who he is overall to people. Mm-hmm. She wasn't telling him to stay out of business as far as that battle rap. She was telling him to stay out of the business, period. And he knew that. That's why he felt that there was no offense there, and he didn't even say anything crazy. They just don't like you. If K-Dot has taught us anything, you could hate more. You know what I mean? So now it's like people are coming out now, bro. Stay out of this. This is historic. Don't say nothing. Because we didn't care if it was like, don't get me wrong, when Drake dropped and we got a leak, it would from word on the street wasn't fully mixed. So to his defense, if it's not a fully mixed record, then it's not gonna hit as much. We're talking about a person who has won the battle or who was winning the battle at that time. The song hit. Don't say nothing. Let's just listen to the track for right now. Cats ain't really paying attention to the production like that. They mainly want to hear what's the tea about. The tea was mixed perfectly. So, and you picked the wrong one. You picked the wrong, because I can guarantee you, if that was a white woman, he probably would have made a joke and kept it pushing. But he attacked that woman's school and job. And then told her, nah, he did the Drake thing. Nah, don't go nowhere. Nah, you gonna sit this one through, and didn't know who he was talking to.
Yeah.
And came back and got him.
Keys?
There was no point for him to say anything. If you have nothing else to say, don't say anything at all. I know you gotta be relevant, but shut the fuck up. Some black folks are talking. I agree.
I think the thing with like even the mix aspect of the record, and Jamal in the comments answer your question. Yeah, go ahead, throw your questions in there. But like all, if I'm not mistaken, just about every one of these records when they were first released weren't necessarily mixed perfect. By the time they made it to Spotify, they were mixed better. The only one that I think was mixed perfectly was Euphoria, and you can clearly tell that one was the one that was done well in advance, like as far as like before it was released. And yeah, it was mixed perfectly. But by the time they got on Spotify, it was mixed. Chill out.
And give them credit because this is hip hop, bro. We expect what we got was historical.
Yeah.
So we probably don't get that historic battle like that. That's crazy. If they don't hurry up and put these diss tracks out. So if we're rushing, it's all the time consuming thing. We've seen how it all lays out now. I'm not mad that it wasn't mixed correctly or all the way. Like, let it rock, bro. There's no need for that. We already getting the criticism about the overall content in general. You pick something as minute as that, like, bro, come on, man. And it wasn't even about the comment. Like I said, you just decided to pick on a woman because she hurt your feelings in a moment. That's all it was.
Yeah. You know, he didn't like to be told to sit his ass down. That's basically what it boils down to. And he still had to.
By a black woman, though, and we're going to break it down by a black woman. She's like, sit your ass down.
Yeah. It's different when it's a black woman, isn't it? And then you, a college educated black woman at that, so you can't even try to come left at it because, like, she'll cook you. So
yeah, because if she say sit down out loud, I'm gonna sit down. That's part of the culture. Somebody with a voice like that, carry y'all sit y'all ass down. Yes, ma'am.
Say less.
Sit down, Vlad. You don't know what's going on.
Stay out of grown folk business. All right, we got a comment here before we get to the last topic. Jamal says Kendrick won. I think Drake will continue to sneak this. But so my question is, I'm not on socials, but what's the word on the shots fired at Drake's house?
That's an isolated incident.
Yeah, isolated incident. It's separate from the beef, reportedly, but his bodyguard got shot in what they're calling a drive-by. We don't know a lot. They're not releasing a lot of information yet, which makes sense because they're probably that would kind of give who the perpetrator they think is or give them any leeway. So they're not really giving many details right now outside of that.
Yeah. So I mean,
isn't that odd? Isn't that odd that it was supposed to be a diss track drop the same day?
I mean,
yeah, but Ack's the only one that's saying that, and then he also said he's not necessarily saying it was Drake or Kendrick that were supposed to drop it. For all we know, that could have been the game track. Just dropped the next day.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's what I think it was when he said they were dropping that like 11 p.m. or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that was about Game dropping his diss track on Rick Ross. But the conspiracies is out. Like, and the thing is, I don't think people don't want to talk too much about the conspiracies because it kind of takes away from an actual person being shot and harmed. So somebody got really injured. I'm not really here to talk about the conspiracies. You know what I'm saying? It was an isolated incident. If you really want to think logically, K-Dot has proven to be thinking 2, 3, 4 steps ahead, but I don't think he's that upset or that or hate him that much to where he's gonna drive by and shoot 3 times at the security guard and get on. I mean, if you really think about it, the weekend manager guard got shot at in LA. You know what I mean? So it's too many things that's involved in this. And I don't think it's going to go to that. I don't think Kendrick's going to go to the point where it's like, man, I hate him so much. I'm going to shift hip hop and I'm going to shoot his bodyguard. Nah, that I think it has nothing to do with each other. But at the same time, from what I've been hearing throughout the week, is that that's not the only incident that has happened at Drake's house. There's attempts on, I'm not going to say his life, but there's attempt to disrupt the flow of things over there all the time.
Yeah, there was an attempted break-in the next day.
Yeah, which is wild because there's so much energy around there. It's crazy that you would try to do that back to back. Oh my god, it's crazy.
Yeah, people crazy.
What do y'all make of that post that he made about what that movie Drake?
I don't even pay attention to that type of shit no more. What has that?
Because I get why people are saying, oh, that means he's maybe coming back, but also like that scene specifically is the dude. Yeah, he's talking shit, but he's basically giving up. So it's like, I don't know, bro. I don't know.
I don't care if he come back or not. Like, bro, I'm tired of. I'm not watching your stories. I'm not watching your. I'm not doing that no more. It's over. I don't care about none of all this encrypted stuff. Like, No, unless, like you said, I don't want to engage in this anymore unless K-Dot come up with facts. Hey, facts. We can let this die down. And I mean, it's gonna be a long summer regardless, however you look at it.
Yeah.
So I don't care if he respond or if he don't. Like I did, like seriously, he lost. That's it. I don't think nothing other, unless I just hope the allegations go away and then he get back to his regular life. I think he's supposed to be dropping his shoe. I saw the shoe. I'm not a fan of it, but congratulations. He about that nocturnal shoe was about to drop. Move forward, bro. Go make his bread like he used to. Go mess with the shit that he messed with, and hopefully you're gonna drop some. I'm pretty sure we're gonna get some music from him this year. Uh, have at it, bro. Go back and live life.
See, here's my thing, and I know we talked about what we want to see from Kendrick as far as his next album. I honestly think the biggest benefit Drake has in this, he just needs to go away to the end of the year. Like just go away, come back at the beginning of 2025. I wouldn't be surprised if he calls it New Year, New Drake, and he just focuses on the music, bro. He got to let this die down. Because as of right now, like you got brands pulling out of deals with him and stuff like that. Not necessarily because they believe the accusations, but you can't have your brand associated with somebody who's in a song that they call Certified Lover Boy, Certified Pedophiles in the same summer. You just can't do that.
Yeah, they're just getting away from the energy right now and the attention.
Yeah,
but just go sit down for a while. Come back in the middle of the January with a 918 in Dubai, and just strategically and talent, with your talent, talk about how you went through the battle and you're back now, and make a video.
Yeah,
in black and white.
Keith, what do you think? How do you think Drake should approach it?
He need to drop some music. I think he need to just wait a couple of months for the fall or whatever. I think he need to drop something more lyrical, or focus on, I mean, he can do the melodies all he wants and everything like that, but I want to hear something better from Drake. I got a question for you. This kind of leads into when Kendrick said, "My first one and my last one are a classic, but you don't have none." Do you agree with that? That Drake has no classics?
I agree with that from K-Dot standpoint, but that's on K-Dot. Like, and even then, even if K-Dot is lying, it's a jab. Like, I got classes, you ain't got one. That ain't, I don't really move anything for me.
Drake has classics. Like I even me as not being a big Drake fan, I'll say that. But I think to Baylor's point, when he said that, I think he is basically saying my classics, your classics don't even touch to if we're talking about musically. I think that's the way that I took it. It's like, all right, your classics don't come close to what mine. I'm making classics that are going to be in the goddamn Library of Congress at some point. Let your little teeny bopper bops go. Like,
I don't think he. I mean, you can't have a classic battle like that. To me, in this day and time, without having a couple of classics under your belt. You know what I mean? Unless y'all deem Drake to be the top-notch dog based off of singles and stuff like that. No, I'm pretty sure. I don't know what albums because his fan base picks different ones, but I'm pretty sure he got some in there.
Here's my question though: like, what Drake album is different, content-wise? What's different? It's all either about girls, it's the same thing all the time, right? The same content. When we've heard anything new?
But that's not
the type of artist he is, and that's part of Kendrick's criticism when he said that he's still a boy. Where's the man? Drake's music hasn't evolved. Now, to his credit,
Jamal got a good
success,
point. But he got a good point.
Well, I didn't see it.
He said I don't think Drake's classics are all full rap albums. That's a key.
True.
That's the key thing.
That's the key thing. Yeah, absolutely. Great call out there.
But that also says a lot about his talent, that he's mixing both of his, his melodic side versus his prody side to make classic albums.
Yeah. I give Drake credit for Drake the artist. Drake the rapper, it does get that those two things get conflated because of his fan base aren't necessarily just hip hop fans or heads, but it is what it is. Go ahead, Mark.
And maybe we got to wait about another 10 to 15 years to really determine that.
That's true.
With the replay value. Look how we're talking about Good Kid, Mad City without any, like, there's probably a very small amount of people that saying it's not a classic, but overall, throughout the decade and the years, people deemed it as his classic. So it stood the test of time. Now we're going to see 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, which albums they're going to go back to. Is it Views for the Dogs? Which one is it? You know, that's all. That's for them to determine. I'm not the demographic, so I can't say yay or nay.
Yeah.
There's no one in history that's going to say Good Kid, Mad City is not a classic. Like that's not even a conversation you want to be a part of. You say something dumb like that, it's more like you don't understand hip hop. You don't belong in this conversation. I just thought about something though. You asked about what Drake album is going to be about his next album.
Yeah.
Now that he talks about women, and now that we
The
put a
breaks
spotlight
radio
on that,
fashion, the breaks radio fashion, Marquis. How we do it is what are you going to tell us now?
yeah.
We've always said that. What are you going to
But
give us now?
but see, the difference is like you can't talk about women the same way now that we put a spotlight on him. You know what I mean? Like that Kendrick put a spotlight on
That
him. You can't have
that's
the
just
same conversation.
that's another badge of honor that goes to K Dot. He
It's
shifted
good.
everything that he could do.
He
Now
has to.
let's
He has to come out different.
now let's see if you can bring out that thick ass playbook that have a lot of offensive plays. Now let's see you got an audible now. Are
Yeah,
you
get them
talented
ghostwriters.
enough? Are you talented enough to change up your content but still make it appeasable to your fan base? Let's see.
You better ask J. Cole to write for him then.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Yeah.
write to sleep.
So we'll see. We'll see. Man, that's crazy. Ghostface coming out with a new album. How you feeling?
That's one person I'm not gonna say what you gonna talk about. You're not about to have him. Ghostface. Ghostface will fight me right now with that ego on his wrist. No, I'm not. Look, I'm gonna listen to it for the production quality and to see what features he got on there.
Yeah.
Because Ghostface is in tune. You know, like he's heavy. He's heavy on his oldies. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't be surprised if we got some sampling in there where we could throw on and clean up the house too. So I'm gonna check it out, but I'm not gonna say anything negative about that. Wu-Tang is everywhere, and they're for the kids.
Wu-Tang's for the kids. Keys.
I heard that album already. It's in the Ghostface album. It's exactly what you think it is. It's what you know. It's an injection of hip hop from Ghostface perspective. So it's one of those I can listen to it a couple of times. I'm good. I'll get back to it again, but that's it. Production's actually pretty good though, surprisingly.
Does he
You got
have
some,
does he have some intros to some of his tracks that sound similar to K Dot with some of that soul in the beginning?
of course he does. You
Of
know that.
course, yeah.
You know that. There's the one with Raekwon is just like that, but he has a couple of them. It's a good album though.
Okay.
I mean, listen, anytime anybody from the Wu drops an album, I'm gonna listen. Like they'll make no mistake. I love Wu-Tang Clan, right? Like, so I'm gonna listen to it. But to Marquis' point, it's not like I'm not going into that expecting some evolution from Ghostface's 40th year in hip hop. Like I'm listening to it for the experience of a Ghostface album.
At this point, we listening to our classic artists to see what tracks we can add to the list.
Exactly. That's it.
Playlist. But we did skip one of Jamal's questions though. He asked, "Do you think Kendrick's cover art might influence attempts on Drake's house?" I don't think any attack was directed by K-Dot though. Yeah, no. I don't think so. But I do think I know what he's trying to get to. There are people out here that try to be
crazy people.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I get it.
But I think Drake's house is also already most people have known where it is. So like and it's probably been things that we just haven't heard about before that have happened there plenty of times. So
shout out to my boy Tahoe in New York. He went live on YouTube and he had a radio personality from Toronto, and he basically said, "Yo, no, this happens often. Y'all just don't hear about it. Obviously, we want to hear about it now because of Haize, you already know it is plays, and this is WWE."
Exactly. So it is what it is there, man. Any last thoughts, fellas, before we get up out of here?
Oh, yeah, my question. Before we get up out of here, my question. Where do you have K-Dot ranked in your personal top whatever versus does this battle help move him wherever he was at?
I mean, I held Kendrick in a super high regard either. Like it's hard for me to do all-time lists. Like I got to really sit down and I even have to go back and listen to albums. But here's what I'll say off the top of my head. Kendrick is probably in my top 10 to 15 MCs of all time already. And I don't know if this battle helped it because I never thought that Drake could rap with Kendrick. Never. That was never even if it came down, like the thing that I worried about in a potential KD and Drake beef before it ever happened was that, all right, with the antics of Drake, with the social media part of it, would that be something that K-Dot couldn't or had no interest in winning that aspect of it, and thus the kind of public opinion would have looked at Drake more favorably. But I think and the fact that like Kendrick still ain't done nothing on social media, but the way in which he played chess in this beef, he sucked the air out of every Drake drop possible other than push-ups. He gave that it was 11 days before he responded, but then after that point, anything that Drake dropped, he had an immediate response for. And so the chess match part of it, Kendrick won that as well and won the public opinion. So it didn't really raise him up in my all-time status. I will say this raised the beef up, though. This is one of the all-time greatest, most entertaining beefs we'll ever see, and I don't know if we'll ever see it again, because I don't know if anybody ever hates somebody as much as Kendrick legitimately hates everything Drake stands for.
Not even just that. I don't think we'll ever see this again, because I'm not sure we'll be able to see another run like Drake did. As much of a K-Dot fan as I am, I can understand that we don't get this type of level of attention, and we don't deem this as a classic if Drake isn't who he is at the end of the day. And so what he did was record shatter breaking accomplishments, and so that's why I feel like we might not even see this in another lifetime. Not how it was done. This is just one of those movies where you had to be there. Where was you at when it dropped? Like, everybody's gonna remember May 3rd.
That's a fact.
And it was a Friday. That's gonna be one of the greatest Fridays in hip hop history. So, I guess I don't know. I'm so nonchalant about it right now. I wouldn't say after a day or two after he dropped Not Like Us, I was like, that's enough. That's enough. You know what I'm saying? I had a very small room for him to drop another track and just bury the lead, but I'm like, nah, I'm good at that. But as far as ranking, K-Dot is gonna be up there for me. I accumulate everything. Him being from the city, what he does from the city, he just got the key to Compton. You know what I mean? So he's making moves. He shifted the culture. He made a lot of older heads in hip hop smile. They may have not said it, or may have not have shown it, but they know what he did. You know what I mean? And in this world, you have to keep everything as safe as you can. So it's hard to pat K-Dot on the back when the record that he dropped is dropping some triggering words. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I think as much as he has shifted the culture and moved hip hop and things like that, it's kind of hard for us to fully celebrate, because we out there crip walking and electric sliding to pedophile and freaky ass nigga guy. You know what I mean? But the weird thing is that they're playing different. I heard the Fortnite version, right? And that was hard. The way AI now, I'm okay if AI is going to do that. I'm not saying that was an AI tracker. Nah, it's just, well, it was an AI tracker because it was K-Dot voice, but the content that was re-recorded to fit that was just phenomenal. So this has already gone by. It has blown up. This is COVID. Like K-Dot was COVID in this situation, where it started out so small and then that got out of control to where Drake has to go isolate himself.
That's crazy. That's a wild way to explain that, Keys.
All right. I'm going to say one of the most controversial things. Personal level, and when we reflect on this, he's probably going to go down as the greatest of all time. And here's why.
Wow, you said that over your boy Nas.
Let me explain why.
Okay.
It took Nas, every rapper back then we considered the greatest. They didn't have the right production, or we use excuses to say why they didn't appeal mass, right? Tell me Baylor didn't drop off on his own question.
That's crazy.
Wow.
That's crazy.
No, I'm still here.
Oh, okay. Oh, he just turned off his camera. All right.
So remember, Nas still made some pop tracks. Like his second album, he wanted to go platinum. It was designed to go platinum. Like he kind of sold himself to go platinum. You know what I mean? Shorty, you owe me whatever, back it up. Yeah, he's the greatest rapper to me. Lyricist, he's the greatest lyricist. Lupe, I would say, is the greatest lyricist. I always say the KRS One is the greatest hybrid rapper, right? Kendrick has done something that no other rapper has done, is what Lupe wanted to do. He stayed real, he stayed to himself, he didn't make pop tracks. Like, look at Humble. Humble should not be a single. That's not a single you release and get mass appeal. He did everything. He battled the top rappers and he survived. And not only did he create a diss track, it went viral. And now people are dancing to it. So he stayed true to himself. He dissected people. He dissected every other rapper. He went after the so-called top two. One bowed out. He made one of the other greatest rappers bow out of the battle. And he took down the so-called king of pop hip hop. You see what I'm saying? And like you said, strategically, he calculated every possible move. He deflated Drake's biggest attempt, taking his own SUV, crushing it. He was proud of that moment. And 15 minutes later, he deflated all that. All that work you just did to make this video, he deflated that in 15 minutes and then dropped another track. And then whatever's going on with this Riddler thing that we're still thinking about, I've never seen anything like this before. So from an audio, visual, mental, psychological perspective, he's gonna live in Drake's mind forever.
Yeah.
Jay-Z, Nas may live in Jay-Z's head, but they're friends. Kendrick and Drake will never be friends, and Drake will always look at Kendrick as that person who has mentally destroyed him. We've never seen anything like this in hip hop. There's no flaws in his game. There's no flaws in anything he does. He doesn't care about, like, his social media is dry. He comes for the content, the lyrics, the storytelling. He's the first rapper, I would say, to get as deep psychologically to strip himself apart in front of the world. Who does that? So yeah, from an overall perspective, I'm sorry, he's going to go down to me as the greatest rapper of all time.
I mean, when you lay it out that way, I can completely understand where you're coming from. Like, it's this, like I said, it's the chess match of it. He did so amazingly with all of that. Like, it shouldn't be as shocking to people when you actually pay attention to Kendrick's music. And that's one thing that I love, is that I've seen a lot of Drake fans on the timeline. Not that is the end all be all, but over the last couple of days, like, hey, I had to go listen to Drake. Oh, this makes sense. I mean, go listen to Kendrick's albums. Now this makes sense. This makes sense. Like, the way that he did it, the versatility, the fact that every track was different. It's just like what Baylor said earlier. Every one of his albums is different, have a different feel. This was like K-Dot winning a battle on the biggest stage, and he did it completely his way.
Yeah.
Completely.
You know what this is? You know what this is, Haize? This is, you know what? I'm not eating McDonald's today. Let me see. My mom made a salad. Let me go check that salad out. That's them going back to the catalogs. Like, well, damn, I do like damn. This is kind of solid. If whatever he was doing during this battle, let me see if he's really, talking like that, or even if I have to break stuff down like this and this other. Like, they're taking time to do this now. So that's it. I think they just going. I think they're going back and appreciating the music a little bit more without criticizing it. They're separating the battle and they saying, all right, let me just go give, because I've done it. I've went back to Drake's catalog list. I'm like, let me go see if I can find something that I like. It's not a lot of songs, but I found certain songs where I'm like, all right, this is cool enough to go on my phone.
Yo, do you realize what he said in Control? I'm gonna take all your fans. I'm trying to murder all you niggas. He just did that. He literally just did that. He's taking Drake's fans and he's turning people against. Like, this is unfathomable what this dude just did. Seriously, I don't think people realize how big this shit is. He's opened the world up to whatever comes next, whatever he does, because again, he has his core audience. You have your loyal Kendrick fans, and you open the door up for new people to come in. But this is different. Whatever Kendrick does next, like, he did it his way, but he literally took motherfuckers' audiences.
They're
We've never
picking up
seen
Easter
it.
eggs and Mr. Morale. If you go to Rich Spirit, he tell you, like, yo, I will turn you into a song. He said that in that album.
He literally, think about this. We knew he was gonna win. We all knew this was the fact that Drake even bothered to, where you at, Kendrick? Come outside. We knew Kendrick was gonna win this battle. We didn't know this was gonna happen. Like, we didn't know nothing like that. The magnitude of this.
The most impressive thing, Marquis, is that Drake took some hits in this battle. and he still stood up until the end. That's all. That's the most impressive thing.
But
He
we're
took
all
some
stomping on him.
crazy hits.
We're still stomping on him. It's like that elephant going back to stomp on that Indian woman, that white woman, in her funeral. Like we're still we're dancing. We have a dance in this motherfucker. People are dancing at weddings to this. There's an emo version of this BBL jersey. Like this is how bad this shit went.
And Haize, I was saying this. Don't you think it's crazy when it got to a certain part in the battle, none of the leaks, none of the AI reference tracks was being leaked?
Yeah, because everybody at that point was actually paying. Like that AI shit, I agree when people were like, hey, you're ruining the game. You got to stop that. Like you're ruining the sense of the battle. But I will say, I got to give props to everybody for stopping that shit. And that's partially on how quick Kendrick was responding. If Kendrick would have took, like, for example, a day to respond to Family Matters, it would have been a bunch of AI tracks. But the fact that it was that same night, and then the next day he followed it up with another new track, at that point, just like he took the air out of Drake's responses, he took the air out of anybody who, like, nobody's paying attention to the AI shit. We got actual music to break down. Let's focus here.
Yeah, because after push-ups, what came after that? Was it 616?
They came out on early. Yep.
Yeah.
Early
that next day.
No, wasn't it Euphoria?
Euphoria was first,
Euphoria came out.
and then 616.
Yeah, because it came out 2 days later.
Yeah, so prior to Euphoria, that's when we were still getting the AI stuff. After Euphoria, that's when it stopped, like cold turkey. That's when the record label was like, clear out, Weekend, be quiet. Rick Ross, no, we got this. Let them go. What
was your favorite out of the Kendricks?
Hey, Euphoria, I think somebody lying. I think so. That was you, like, but look. Family Matters intro and Euphoria intro, top notch.
Listen, if this was just a battle where it was Euphoria and Family Matters, it would be such a great conversation to have, because I honestly think people would view the one generally, and not us who like break music down, but I think people who like generally were involved in the battle would, whichever one dropped second, they would have thought was the best, because that was would have been the one they had the lasting impression on. But if you're just looking at those two tracks as diss tracks, like I said, got to give Drake credit, and that's probably why he didn't really know how to respond afterwards. Family Matters would have took 99% of rappers out of there. Between the video and the drop, they would have been done. But Kendrick said "OV ho," and he said "fuck it." Like
it was one of those things where boom, the bomb hit, K Dot hit the floor, and then that's when you hear Drake saying "You're dead." Yeah. And then K Dot gets up, bitch. Who? Dear Adonis.
Hey, you know what he did? He did the Undertaker sit up.
Yeah, he did.
He did the Undertaker sit up. That's it. Like. I remember when I listened to Family Matters, bro.
Let's take a moment. I'm sorry. Let's take a moment. I'm visualizing. I'm a creator, so I'm visualizing him just sitting back up.
Exactly.
That's wild.
But when I listen to Family Matters, I'm not the biggest Drake fan. Literally, my first thought of, I don't know how the fuck Kendrick's going to respond to this. And my second thought was, he can't let this go a week. You can't leave these allegations out there for a week.
You said it in the group chat. You said this nigga spazzing or something like that. And I had already listened to it. I couldn't even respond. I said, nah, he got it. Yeah. He got it because I'm telling the truth, Haize. When push-ups dropped, the first thing I said was, man, this don't sound, it don't really sound right or whatever.
You thought it was like AI.
Mm-hmm. And then a real AI track came out, so I'm like, oh man, I don't know. I don't like that or whatever. But when he dropped Family Matters, Haize was like, Drake dropped. This nigga spazzing. And I was in the corner like, yeah, this nigga got one. He got one. But then before I put my hand down, Dear Adonis, I said, whoa.
Remember, it's funny because I'm still processing fucking Family Matters, and Baylor's like, he dropped. I'm like, he ain't dropped yet, like, but he needs to drop soon. He was like, no, Haize, he dropped. I was like, wait a second, what?
And the dope part about this whole battle is that you had to be so locked in to know that it's either on YouTube or IG. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's going to Apple, nobody's going to Spotify. Like you had to be like, you got me following DJ Academic, you got me following the ops. You know what I'm saying? I'm following all these streamers because we trying to be locked in. So
I swear you, I've been on social media the last week more than maybe my entire life. I've never been on social media this long. I was on Twitter. I was everywhere.
If we show this much energy towards our work,
my work suffered. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, and look, and our supervisor was like, "You good, bro?"
I luckily can't say that. I've been dropping episodes on my full-time job for 1,071 straight days in a row, so I don't stop.
Employee of the month.
But all right, fellas, man. I know it's early on Saturday. We want to thank everybody for tuning in this early, man. Any last parting thoughts or anything? Hell, I mean, we can keep the conversation going if we got shit to still talk about. I'm not trying to end it because this has been a great conversation to have.
No, I think K-Dot and Drake have showed us there's a time where we need to end all this and we can restart it again. But no, I think like I said, I think we're going to continue to talk about this throughout the rest of the year, where this is going to rank at and why it's ranked so high, and break every other diss or beefs again. So it's still a lot to talk about based off of this beef in general. But I enjoyed it.
Something I know we've ranked diss tracks before. What we should rank all-time best beefs, like the actual the competitive nature of the beefs.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's do it. All
right. Well,
I like Drake with the melodies. I don't like Drake when he acts tough. Sorry.
I don't like Drake when he acts tough. Go ahead and give me your social medias. Let's get the hell up out of here, Baylor.
At Baylorism on TikTok and Twitter, at Baylor The Great on IG, BTG for President, over on with BTG, part of the Red Science Network. Yeah, that's it. And don't talk about the family, Crody.
Keys.
Hi, Kaler. JRQUIS, follow him. His music, he got some music coming out.
That's hilarious. You guys follow me at CEO Haize. You can follow us collectively at The B.R.E.A.K.S Radio. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, BREAKSradio@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and a voicemail, 614-547-2039. We're the #1 spot for everything hip-hop and Black culture related. We about this bitch, y'all. Peace.